Hello? Hello? What's going on? Because there's obviously something up.
You're a liar.
No, I'm not. There's shit going on that's not usually happening, and it's centered on me, and I'm not doing anything. I'm literally sitting here doing nothing, drinking beer, playing video games. So there's no reason to pay attention to me. So if there's an epicenter of bullshit, and I'm seeing any part of it, there must be something huge going on.
Well, why would you assume I know what's going on?
You know, I don't mean to imply that you know a totality of information, but you certainly know more. Well, not more, but different. You have different avenues of information than I have, right? I mean, ideally, one such as I and one such as yourself would coordinate our efforts to understand the world around us. But you act from a position of superior information all the time. You lord over what little brain cells you manage to fucking scratch together to make a fucking spark. You fucking hold that over people's head, and you squeeze the advantage out of it, which is cool, you know. Still.
Are you incapable of doing anything other than insulting and denigrating other people?
Well, I could fillet you, but you're kind of far away.
So, you've been under the impression I've been avoiding you, but I had to move house.
Well, God bless you. You didn't tell me anything about your living situation or that you had to move. And so by not telling... No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I sent you a message, and you completely ignored it in text and Telegram, and you started talking about what you wanted to talk about. You didn't respond to the fact that I had to move. Are you going to blame your devices again? Because you need to get some new ones.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I got some new ones, and then they were confiscated by the goddamn thugs. What month was this that you told me you had to move? What month?
Go and check your chat, man. History on Telegram.
I don't have time to do that right now.
Oh, so I have to be your little appy, huh?
No, you don't have to portray authentic information. It's in your self-interest to do so.
I always share authentic information with you.
Why don't you show your camera?
Well, do you really want to see me?
No, but by now you should have recognized that it'd be the appropriate thing to do, considering we are separated by a great deal of distance. And if I don't know that it's you,
you usually insult my. You usually insult my appearance, and when you don't have my appearance to insult, you insult everything else about me. So, So on October 23rd...
That's only because you have no self-esteem, and you take the slightest criticism as some kind of denigration against your character and your self-esteem, which you should be able to buoy up yourself. I mean, you insult me constantly, and it doesn't affect me. Just be like Jack.
It doesn't affect you. You've been going around on streams talking about how I should kill myself because I mocked you. Jesus Christ,
That's not
Jack.
true.
That's not a friend.
That's not true. That's not true. I haven't done that at all.
Don't try and bullshit me, man. You said it on Richard's Live. You said that I deserve to feel suicidal because you asked for help and I mocked you. And I would like to know what help you asked for and how I mocked you.
I said probably. I didn't say you deserve to.
This is only going to work if one of us talk at a time.
Right. Okay. Well. Don't gaslight what I've said and don't mischaracterize what I've said.
That's
what you
do.
Probably.
Not me.
No, that's what someone else does. I said that you probably deserve to feel suicidal. Do you still? You probably don't deserve to still feel suicidal. That's a true statement. Probably.
So you're just going to try and walk it back like you did in the past, and you're going to expect me to buy into everything you say as truthful.
I'm not walking back what I said. I'm walking back what you said.
You walk everything back, Jack. That's why I haven't been able to talk to you for so long. It's because you confuse people, you tell lies, you say I backstab you. Please, man, I've only been responding to what you've done to me.
I'll be honest, you say everything I think Kolaka.
On October 23rd, I told you I'm moving house in Telegram chat.
And that was a real statement? Okay.
Yes, it was a real statement.
When did you discover that?
What? Yeah, well, I'm moving house. I told you this. I don't have to sit around and chill I don't have time to sit around and chill like you all day. The way you've treated me in the recent past has been disgusting, so just remember that before you cast stones. Then I said, once I'm settled at the other side, which I am now, I'll have time to do normal things again, but right now I'm dealing with movers, packing boxes, and there's very little time for anything else. The moving truck arrives tomorrow, so still got lots of shit to do. I'm not actively avoiding you, I just have a very little time on my hands, and so I need to get back to packing up my things, catch up soon. I know it can feel as if you're being slighted because you're not getting a regular back and forth conversation from me, but the place I'm staying is very cluttered, and that's made things doubly hard when deciding what to take with and what to get rid of. Anyway, you probably don't care. I'm just a joke to you anyway. I care about you and wish we could be friends like we used to be, but I'm very hurt at some of the things that have transpired between the two of us, and I have no more energy for games. That's what I said to you.
Right.
And you didn't reply with anything.
I'm replying now. It doesn't make any plausible sense that you would decide after undergoing thought processes, after putting in the cognition to think about moving your house. It doesn't make sense to me that you would decide that you had some sort of energy exchange with me that makes it so that it's hard for you to be friends with me without actually telling me. If you just decide in your head, bang, bang, I'm not going to be friends with Jack, it's too hard because it's something he did. If you do that without actually communicating with me, it's not authentic. It makes it sound like you're just running for the hills. Like, oh my God, your name showed up in the APB and you got to fucking run for the hills before.
Well, why do you think everybody's abandoned you? Because you push everybody's buttons and you irritate them on purpose, and you say mean things and you treat people badly.
That's how I was. That's literally how I was raised. What's problem? What's
yes,
problem?
But that's not the rest of the world's problem.
Well, let's focus on you and I. If you have an issue with that kind of thing, it seems like you could actually talk to me instead of just packing up stakes and running.
Yeah, well, you pushed me too far.
I don't recognize that I am pushing if I am not cognitively aware that that's occurring. I would have to engage volition and decide to actually push before you can say that.
No, I'm not buying it.
Okay, well, does a boulder in the river push the river?
I don't have time for empty platitudes, man. Don't bullshit me.
It's a legitimate philosophical question. You put a boulder in a river. I don't look. Well, it's actually a semantics argument. I don't say that you're speaking poorly, but you may possibly be using English in a way that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, well, I am a foreigner. I'm not American.
I don't see, sir, my friend. I don't see you as a foreigner. I see South Africa as Hungary with Seattle. I see you as a sister country.
Well. You were talking about me pretty nastily on that Richard Live with Swishy. Now all of a sudden you call me friend. Come on, man.
I don't think it's nasty. Well, I don't think you can point out anything that was nasty.
Well, you said that because, and I've asked you this already and you haven't answered me. You said that you asked for help and I mocked you. Now, please enlighten me. What happened?
Every day that goes by that I do not have an indirect channel of communication, authentic communication with that woman that I'm not allowed to directly contact, as soon as the judge indicated that indirect contact was allowable, you should have been Johnny on the spot, setting up the fucking Rube Goldberg machine, the fucking windmill with the fucking water buckets, passing the messages back and forth indirectly, since that's allowed.
Why? She's been threatening me, bro. She told me that I'm colluding with you and Rubini, and that that she threatened me with legal action.
Are you actually threatened by a woman? Does what a woman says to you actually threaten you?
Why
I don't think you're a real man.
I don't care. Why do you?
What?
She's threatening me. Why would I want to talk to her? I never liked her. I'm sorry. I only put up with her for your sake because I wanted to be your friend, and she was an extension of you.
This is so wildly inauthentic. Look, the appropriate thing to do.
Please, that's rich.
No, no, no. Look. I don't know what happened on Christmas.
Oh, for fuck's
What
sake,
you
dude, I've talked
believe?
about it numerous times.
You weren't there. What the fuck do you know about it?
I was on the phone with her all Christmas Eve.
Okay, does it not occur to you that you may have been on the phone with a ringer?
What's a ringer?
Okay, so when I got here, there was one person on the porch. I came into the kitchen. There was a second person that was not the same person that was on the porch. There may have been up to 5 people here that night. And then you were on the phone the next day with somebody else. That could have been a 6th person. I'm not saying that there were 6 people, but there could have been. And I don't see how you've been able to rule out any of these possibilities since then. The trail has not grown completely cold since December, but it's fucking November now. And I'm still wandering around the dark, and you're telling me that I'm being harsh on you, that I'm saying insulting things. Well, I don't see how I could be said to be saying anything insulting since I don't know what's going on. It would seem to me that a person would have to have some kind of awareness of the overall situation in order to be insulting whatsoever. And in fact, your protestations that I'm insulting and that I'm causing these trouble, when I don't even know what the fuck is going on, in accordance with objective reality, is an absurd conjecture. And here you are spitting out. It's fucking November. Like, how do you have any respect for yourself?
So is it accurate to assume that all this talk about you being a super genius that you constantly go on about, and then you turn around and say you know nothing about anything that's going on? If you were so smart, surely you would know what was going on.
I can speculate and I can deduce, but that is entirely different from having direct experiential knowledge. If you have a woman typing up on the tickety tackety telling you things, that is direct experiential evidence. I don't have people contact me directly. I'm in a bubble. And
okay, Jack, let's cut to the chase here.
Oh,
you and me.
Go ahead.
I was putting a lot of time into trying to understand what you were going through because I thought that you really needed someone in your corner. Okay? And you turned around and you accused me of conspiring against you. And
you have. There's evidence of that. The 22 pages.
No, I haven't. I actually was going to. And Inner Reach told me, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So I didn't.
Fuck Inner Reach. Okay, let me just get that out of the way. Now,
well, he's been a friend far more than you've ever been. And I treated him poorly, and I was your friend and in your corner for so long, and then I realized he was the one who was there for me. Dude, you treat me like shit.
I think your loyalties are a little too mercurial.
Well, that's fine. That's your opinion, man. Like,
well, I don't mean to criticize, but you may want to notice that if your loyalty from friend to not friend changes in the course of a paragraph, you may recognize that it's difficult for me to hit a moving target.
Well, I mean,
I love you, Ellie. I do. It's great to talk to you again. Like,
yeah, so
I'm
you're
not,
gonna love bomb. You're gonna
no,
love bomb.
No.
Right? After lying to me.
Love bombing would be if I did it over and over. Out of nowhere, I felt compelled to remind you that I'm legitimately your friend. I understand.
So why did you tell me? So why did you tell me on Patreon just 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, get ready to die?
Well, when you experience an ego death, that will be much like dying, and I'm sure that's due you.
This is quite remarkable. I've never seen you like this. Such a deer in the headlights, grasping at straws, man. Really a pathetic effort. It really is.
I honestly don't think I'm doing pathetic at all. I think I'm doing very well. I am lit as fuck. I bought a whole bunch.
You treated me as if I was the problem when I was the one who was trying to understand what you were going through.
No one asked you to do that. I asked you to pass messages.
No one asked me to do that. I was the only one in the end.
I did. I never said to you, "Oh, Ali, please understand me." I never said that. I said, "Pass messages to me and that witch." I never said. I never asked you to understand me.
Why? I don't want to have anything to do with her. I don't want to have anything to do with her, man. I
didn't ask you to want to. You were already talking to her.
No, I wasn't. The last time I spoke to her was at Christmas.
I don't believe that. Okay, wait. I beg your pardon. if I am speaking to an individual who has not spoken to one of his maid in over 10 months, I'm in a great deal of an apologetic state because I'm not aware that you are a person who hasn't talked to her that long. I talked to somebody who sounded just like you not 2 weeks ago. You said you were talking to her all goddamn night, which is fine.
That must have been some sort of a dream or some sort of a delusion or a hallucination because I haven't spoken to you in months.
Uh-huh. Well, couldn't have been Michael Deacon pretending to be one of us?
Michael Deacon and I have come to an understanding.
Oh, well, he's a Satanist, so whatever the fuck he says can't be counted on. I believe that it is entirely
he's not a
possible.
Satanist. He's not a Satanist. He's a troll.
What about Bateman?
What about Bateman?
What about Mikey? One of them is a Satanist. Not that I mean to call anybody out,
Mikey.
but there are
Mikey.
Mikey Hideous.
That's Mike.
He's a player.
Mikey.
Mikey. There's a lot of
what about Mike Hideous? Where is the correlation here? Where are we going?
Well, I have respect for that man, and he is a Satanist.
He's a Satanist. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I don't actually know it myself. I believe.
But what does it matter? What does that matter?
Well, here's what. To be honest, entirely forthright. When a Satanist
for
is
a
involved,
change, to be honest, for a change.
well, I want to be clear. This isn't just talking shit. When a person who is a Satanist, who is an avowed Satanist, is involved in any kind of interaction with another person, there is an opportunity for corruption to skip over. And infect is not the right word, but I'll just use it anyway. When you're talking to a Satanist, they can infect you with the devil virus, which isn't true at all. But in a way, in a manner of speaking, that's exactly what kind of thing happens. If a person is not aware of themselves and they're centered in their own presence, a person can be afflicted with a sort of illness, with a condition.
Well, I know all of that, but why? How does it relate as a segue from what we were talking about? When you said that I phoned you a couple of weeks ago when I didn't, because I haven't spoken to you in months.
Right. Well, I have talked to somebody who sounds like you in months, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but
I have that experience. Yeah.
What did they say they were me?
I don't. Well, they sounded like you. They didn't actually say they were you.
Nobody sounds like me, man.
Yes, anybody with the sufficient software and the wherewithal and the desire to sound like you would sound like you.
But this is the thing, Jack. You know me. You know me. You know who I am.
Yeah, I'm familiar with your gestalt. I don't know you.
No. Why do you try and humiliate me because my mother spoke to me one day? Why do you try and humiliate me on a panel because me and my mother had a loving exchange? What is the problem with that? Are you trying to convey the idea that I live with my mother or something like that?
No, I don't think that's humiliating.
Is that what you're trying to do? Or
No. I love your mother and I love you. That was one of the most adorable things I've ever seen.
But why did you bring it up out of the blue? Were you were trying to humiliate me because you were trying to make me look like a neckbeard living in my mother's basement or something, right?
No.
Do you remember what I told you about that day? Do you remember what I told you?
You can't grow. You said something about never ever refer to that event ever again.
Well, then why did you?
I don't take
to get my attention, right? Because you want me to talk to you, right?
No. It was in fact to chat you up to the greater internet audience. I wanted everyone to know how adorable you were with your little chubby cheeks and the look of surprise in your eyes when you could tell that I was hearing your mother talk to you, and you were the lowest person on that totem pole. There was you, and there was me, and there was your mother, and your mother was the highest ensouled being in that interchange. She wasn't talking to me, but she's a smart woman. She could tell that you were talking to me, and she had heard of you, and she was listening before she opened the door. You know, I don't know if she had her ear pressed to the door with one of those ear horn things. That'd be cool though. She definitely knew that you were talking to me, and she burst in and she interrupted you and I could tell that she liked me and that she knew that she was embarrassing you, and it was the most adorable mother little boy modem I've ever seen. Honestly,
she doesn't. First of all,
disrespect. Go
First
ahead.
of all, you characterize me as someone on the bottom of the totem pole. There you go, denigrating me
Well,
again.
you
Second
were.
of all, second of
Well,
all,
you're saying
no,
you're
no, no,
above
no,
your
no, no, no,
mother.
no. Listen here.
Okay.
Second of all, my mother and me have spoken about you, by the way. I was talking to her about you not long ago, and I was saying, I'm friends with
I
this
am
guy.
okay.
He seems to be going through the same thing I went through at one stage. And eventually, when I stopped talking to you, I said to her, no. One day he just woke up and blasted me and screamed and yelled at me and treated me like garbage. And I said, I'm not going to be friends with this guy anymore because it's not good for me. Because you
That
really,
could have
really
been
sent
an
me to a
assault
bad
team.
place.
That could have been a psyop team. That might have been not me.
I've got a fuck off, Jack. I've got a very good relationship with my mother. And when I told her about you, she was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be friends with a person like that. Because you
Oh,
bit
really?
me
I don't
after I was friends
believe
with
that.
you and I was trying to be supportive because I was under the impression that you were going through, you were talking to people in your head, man.
I am.
You were.
I don't think so.
So either you were on drugs or you have a condition, neurological, psychiatric, whatever.
I don't respect your logical fallacy there. I think there's many other opportunities that there could have been.
Yeah, well,
I mean, couldn't you say on drugs or psychosis? Couldn't there have been on medication? Couldn't there have been divine intervention? Couldn't there have been any number of other possibilities? When you say it's either this or that, the fallacy of either or does not translate well here. And besides, this gets away from my original point, which is to say, I didn't mean to humiliate you at all. I don't think I humiliated you. I think it is adorable that you have a relationship with your mother. I am not envious of your relationship. I don't necessarily miss having a physical mother anymore because, believe me, I can talk to the dead one anytime. Yeah, she says hi. I don't have. You don't know what it's like. Your mother's still alive. When she dies, I don't know what you're going to have, but mine talks to me all the fucking time,
well,
and
I've
she's
got another
constantly available.
incredible woman in my life. That's what I will have.
That's one.